Well, there was a basketball game. The Sixers participated in it, and it did not go well as they lose 139-105. I know it was a back-to-back. There was tired legs clearly up and down, but it was not a good game by any stretch. We're going to get into some of the stats that back that up. Listen, it's the Warriors. You know what they're going to do. At times, they've struggled this season. Coming in, they had lost 13 of 17, but they appear to find their rhythm after 2 days off big time against the Sixers. Defensively, the Sixers just didn't have it. Very lackadaisical, and you talked about it, I think, earlier. Just the miscommunication. Is that maybe you think the biggest concern as to why they got blown out?
Yeah, I seen a lot of finger pointing tonight, Amy. I seen a lot of finger pointing when guys said, well, who's this man, and guys was wide open, or guys not properly switching on screens, or so be it. I seen too much of that tonight. And for this is a veteran-laden team, so I'm a little surprised about that. And Golden State was just picking them apart. When the ball moves like that so much, it's hard to defend a team that goes that way.
Yep. Talking about ball movement, 42 assists from the Warriors. That's the most against a Sixers team since 1993. 42 assists. Do you want to know how many the Sixers had? 16. 16 assists. The Warriors had that in the second quarter at this point. There was a lot of ball movement. We know they shoot the three ball very well, obviously led by Steph Curry, but you're 56%, 61% from the field. You just can't let that happen. Is it just about some of the rotations and not getting over? Is it just about the tired legs, or is there something maybe more concerning for you?
More concerning point to me is, Golden State just had more live bodies. They was moving that ball. They was constantly moving. Players was going through Draymond, players going through whoever. Everybody was making plays. Everyone was willingness to pass the ball. The ball didn't necessarily stick in one guy's hands, and that's a problem. When you got that much ball movement with so many guys that can make plays for others, that gets old after a while. You get tired of chasing guys around.
And listen, we haven't seen a lot of games with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey and Paul George, and unfortunately this was the second of the back-to-back. Paul George played last night, so did Tyrese Maxey, and I think you saw some of that certainly on PG's end as you look out the box score here. As I mentioned, 61% from the field. That's over 56% from three for the Warriors. Not matched at all by the Sixers, who shot 29% from three and just 42% from the field. And just those assist numbers. 16 assists, rebounding they got outworked on, and then turnovers obviously wasn't threes against the Sixers team without a miss. He was a perfect 8 for 8. Listen, we all know that he can go crazy, and that's the thing.
But we don't want him going crazy against us.
You love to watch it if it's against somebody else. 8 for 8 on a night where we were coming in, and he's having a really down year statistically for him. 22 points on average. Not tonight. These are MVP type of numbers when you think about his MVP seasons with the 30 points and the 8 of 8 from 3-point. He makes it look easy. I joked earlier that was our drive of the game, because when you shoot the three like this, it might as well be a layup.
It might as well, Amy, but this is what he does. So where's the communication? He shot fakes, he goes by the one dribble. Where's the next guy scrambling, Amy? Like stuff like that. These are things that we should do. Yeah, right now they're just running around the Sixers at this time right here. Buddy Hield loses it, or he finds Steph Curry wide open.
And that's the thing. If you had good defense on Buddy Hield, you probably could have come up with that look, because it was a loose ball at that point.
Absolutely.
And of course, the bank is open. You know it's this kind of Nate. I mean, come on. When he starts feeling it, he's coming obviously off a little teeny screen there, but just a little stop and pop, nothing but net. He's on fire. He's on fire.
That's a prime example of when you prepare and you work your tail off and you take advantage of your skill.
All right, so this is the most three-pointers made without a miss against the Sixers. It's a fun board. Bojan Bogdanovic, I remember that game. That was last season. Kyle Lowry, that's another fun one. Kobe Bryant, of course. Lauri Markkanen, that was not that long ago, but then Steph Curry now atop the list at a perfect 8 for 8. Is it surprising to you that he's never been perfect?
It is very surprising for me. Like I would expect, even if it's 4 for 4 or something, I expect him to be. This is what I expect from him, giving him any kind of daylight to get a shot off.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even need that much. You mentioned just like a little bit of room, and he will go ahead and make it, because that's the kind. He's the best shooter certainly to ever play, I think, and that's an inarguable position. I don't know of a shooter better than him. You can argue whatever you want as far as where he stands in the pantheon of point guards or great players, but as far as a pure shooter, they don't get much better than Steph Curry, and they let him cook. But overall, I mean, the whole team did that. This is a team that is 20th. The Warriors are 20th in offensive rating, which is a crazy number when you look at that they put up 139 points. I don't want everybody to get right against the Sixers, but they certainly got right against the Sixers. Sixers now have a couple of days. They fly back east. They face the Brooklyn Nets. But this was a chance for them to do more and move up in the standings. It's another missed opportunity. Not granted as close as the one last night against the Kings, but they were never in this one.
I agree, Amy. From the beginning of the game to the end, Golden State just had too much in the engine for the Sixers, and they couldn't keep up. Steph Curry getting hot like that does not help at all. And Maxey looked like he was a little fatigued from going up and down with
We
Fox
played 40-something minutes last night.
Yeah, and I think that kind of weighs. But see, that's why you have other guys on the team that should be to step up. Paul George, not a bad game, but 19. But I would love to see him do more. Joel's getting average numbers for Joel. But I think as a unit, as a whole, we could be doing better than this, especially after we let last night slip away.
Yeah, that was there for the taking. That was now 2 losses in a row for a team. We've mentioned it before. It is getting late early. We're now into the new year, and the East is much better than it was to start the season. So you don't want to have any opportunity slip away from you to gain any ground, and that's what happened certainly so far on this road trip, unfortunately. They do have another one. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit. We're also going to hear from Nick Nurse and examine Tyrese Maxey's night as well as Joel Embiid. So stick with us as we wait for the head coach to come out. Sixers Postgame Live is brought to you by Cure Auto Insurance.